Hey everyone, and how's it going? My name's Hailey Woodcock, and I am one of the vocational evaluators at Career Connections. I want to thank everyone today for tuning in to watch this video, and hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. I know that there has been a lot going on lately, and we've all been trying really hard to social distance. I want to give a huge shout out to all of the current participants of Career Connections and want to let you guys know that we look forward to seeing your faces in our office again very soon. Before we start the workshop here today, I just thought it would be fun to share a few positive things that I've seen going on in Westman lately. I've seen that many businesses and restaurants have been giving back to the healthcare and all other essential workers, offering things such as free coffees, delivering them lunches to their job sites, and even providing them discounts on fuel. I've also seen lots of businesses stepping up and making big donations to the Samaritan House, as well as lots of local photographers have been giving back by offering families a free 5-minute photo session from the comfort of their own doorsteps. And instead of asking for pay, they're asking that you donate to a local charity. It's just so fantastic to see that people are trying their best to give back right now during such a difficult time. And I just want to say, keep up the awesome work, Westman. So these workshops for selling Career Connections has been offering for some time, but up until now, they have been in the classroom that's located in our office. With many of us having to work from home and not being able to have these in-person meetings that we used to do weekly, we thought it was time to try something new by presenting you guys these workshops online in a video format. I hope you all had the chance to watch Leanne's workshop last week, which was Mental Health and You. There was a lot of good information in there, and Leanne talked about topics such as mental health versus mental illness, good versus bad mental health, as well as how to look for support both personally and professionally. So if you didn't have a chance to check that out, feel free to look for that video on our YouTube page. This week's topic is the 5 W's of job searching. Before we get started here, I'm just going to let everybody know, if you're interested in finding a copy of this PowerPoint, it's available to everyone on our website, cciwestman.ca. And don't worry, there'll be a link so you can write that down at the end of the PowerPoint. So here's an outline of what we're going to discuss today. The first thing, what is your dream job? It is helpful to start by identifying your dream job, so that once you've completed the cover letter and resume, we're ready to start applying for suitable positions. Then what we're going to talk about next is education, skills, and abilities. What's important and what's not when you're looking at job ads. Then we're going to move on and we're going to talk about cover letters and resumes, what to include, as well as job references. We're also going to talk about following up on applications. And then we're going to give you guys some resources for finding job ads online. And lastly, what we're going to do is end the presentation today by giving everyone some suggestions on things that they can be doing at home right now. So starting today's workshop off, what is your dream job? Do you have a dream job? Maybe you're already working that dream job, or maybe you just have no idea what it is yet. If you're unsure of what your dream job is, then you can think and ask yourself these questions. What are you interested in? What are your strengths or skills? And what have you liked or disliked from your past jobs, work experience, or volunteer opportunities? So using these questions can help give you guys better direction when narrowing down your dream job. Then you're going to think, well, what is it about the dream job that you're attracted to? Once you've identified your dream job, it's time to think further about the position and what kind of work you can see yourself doing. For example, here today I'm going to use actor as my dream job. Is it the acting that I'm solely interested in? Or could I explore other avenues of employment to gain knowledge and experience, such as building the sets, directing the show, writing the script, or making costumes? If it is the acting I'm really passionate about, maybe I could explore my options for jobs at movie theaters or dance studios. If it's building the sets, I might look for work in the construction or the design industry. If it's writing the script, maybe I could do some freelance writing or work for a newspaper company. And if it's directing the show, maybe I become a drama teacher. Okay, so although actor is my dream job, by breaking it down and looking at all the different careers that could have similar duties and work environments, it's really a good way for me to explore all the job opportunities and not just limit myself to the one position of only being an actor. So next is the 5 W's of job searching. The first one is why. Asking yourself, well, why do you want to work? Is it the social aspect of having a job? Is it the financial rewards? Maybe it's the feeling of belongingness. Hey, maybe it's all of these. Next is when. When are you ready to start working? Is it right away, or do you need to finish school first? Do you need to build a resume and cover letter, or do you have any other commitments that you need to wrap up? So think about what your timeline is going to look like. Who do you know in your social network that may already have some knowledge in the industry? If there's someone you can think of, then try and connect with that person. Try and get their insights on the job as well as their past experiences. Also, you can ask yourself who, if anyone, is going to help you succeed in your job search. Sometimes we do things by ourselves, and other times we require supports from our family, spouses, friends, or employment counselors. Then you can ask yourself where. Where will you be working? Are you going to be looking for work in Brandon, or do you think you want to move to Dauphin or Winnipeg? Also ask yourself what your environment's going to look like. Do you think you're going to be working inside or outside all day? With people or in the back? Next is what. What do you need to succeed? Is it something like updating your resume? Or maybe you need some new references? How about a natural support in the job place? Or a checklist to help you remember all of those job duties? So if we are able to identify what we need to succeed beforehand, it allows us to properly prepare for our employment journey. And the 5 W's of job searching is a good way and a good tool to help you prepare. So up on the screen here, you can see that there is an activity sheet Career Connections has put together. If anyone's interested in working on the 5 W's from home, feel free to check out our website and grab a copy of this document. Or you can pause the video at this time just to write the questions down yourself on a piece of paper. So now we're going to move on and we're going to share some tips for effective job searching. The first tip is to be open-minded. So always look past that job title. An example of this could be a customer service rep at a bank and a customer service rep at a supermarket. They do share the same job title, but their job duties would be very different. So click the job, read the whole ad and the description, and make sure that you're interested as well as that you meet all of the listed duties and requirements. Make sure the job's both interesting as well as that suitable. Don't apply for jobs that you feel you would be uncomfortable doing, and don't apply for a job that has a high salary if you're not interested in doing that job. Also, you can have a cover letter and resume that's targeted to the position you're applying to. Use your cover letter and resume to stick out from the crowd and make a targeted one before applying for that job. Lastly, go beyond job listings. If you really want to work somewhere and you believe you're a suitable candidate, it never hurts to submit a resume and see what happens. So next we're going to talk about what you do when you see multiple positions for the same kind of job at the same company. So sometimes you might see Walmart, for example, they might be looking for part-time shoe associates as well as part-time fashion associates. So same business, but 2 different jobs. When this happens, what we would suggest is you think about and ask yourself before you apply, which position would you be the most suitable for? Once you've narrowed it down to that one position, apply for it and see what happens. If management feel they can utilize you in other areas, don't worry, there's still the chance of getting an interview. Sometimes sending in multiple resumes can signify some lack of organization, so just be sure that you don't overwhelm businesses with multiple applications. So now we're going to give you guys some good job search practices. So the first one is to check for job postings daily, if you have the time, of course. Many websites also allow you to sign up for email alerts, and that they have the option that notifies you when a new job ad is posted. This is helpful for people who have commitments throughout the day, don't have internet, or who are currently working. Another good practice is not to wait to apply. Not all job postings have closing dates, and applying early shows your eagerness for the position. Next is have a targeted cover letter and resume, and never expect different results if you keep using the same one to apply for multiple jobs. So make sure you put the effort forward into tailoring your cover letter and resume, like we mentioned before. And just remember, it's a great way to demonstrate your knowledge of the job, as well as show that you're seriously interested in the position. Keep track of everywhere you have applied. Make sure you don't submit a resume twice, as this can make you look unorganized. Also, you should always be prepared for a phone call from a potential employer to set up an interview at any time. Next is explore all avenues when looking for employment. Be sure to look online, read through the newspaper, scroll through social media sites, and connect with your personal network of family and friends to see what jobs are available. The last one that we have is following up on job applications. This is something that we're going to go more into detail about a little bit further into the presentation. So now we're going to talk about education and certificates, as well as skills and abilities, and what's important and what's not when you're looking at job ads. So when you're looking at the education and certification requirements of a job ad, it's always important that you ask yourself, is it necessary that you have that education or certificate before being able to apply for that job? If it's necessary, then you need to start building your plan and looking at the steps you need to take to get yourself that required education. Sometimes employers require that specific education or training, but they're okay with applicants completing it within the first 6 months to 1 year of being hired. If this is the case and you meet all of the other job duties and requirements, then go ahead and apply. Also ask yourself if you have any transferable experience, if that's something that the job ad mentions. Sometimes job ads say that they would like somebody who's a journeyman, but they're okay hiring someone with equivalent experience. So an example, in the construction industry, they might look for a journeyman carpenter, but they're okay with someone who has years of experience and training in the field applying for that job. Always remember, it's important that employers hire the staff that have the right training and education for the job. So sometimes passion and interest just isn't enough, and you need to complete the education or certification in order to be a suitable candidate. Next, we're going to look at skills and abilities. So when looking at the skills and ability requirements of a job ad, it's always important you ask yourself, are those skills and abilities required or are they preferred? If it says they're required, that means you must have that in order to be considered a suitable candidate. And if it says they're preferred, it means they would really like someone who has the training, skills, or experience, but they're open to looking at and considering other people who believe they are suitable candidates. Now we're going to talk about cover letters and resumes. So your cover letter should always include your name, phone number, and address. Then it should always have at the top the name of the person you're applying for and their job title, as well as the job ad or reference number if there is one. Then the body of the cover letter is really your opportunity to sell yourself. This is where you can let the recruiter know why they should hire you. And in this portion is where you talk about your relevant education, experience, and training. Also, you should go through the job ad and give examples on your cover letter for each of the criteria that is outlined in the ad. So for example, if the job ad says they're looking for someone who can stand on their feet for long periods of time, make it clear on your resume that you meet the criteria and are okay standing on your feet for long periods of time. Then at the end of the cover letter, you always want to thank the reader for their time and leave them the most up-to-date contact information. Then just remember, always spell and grammar check your cover letter before submitting it. Okay, so before we move on, I just thought I'd have a little clip here. Some people think that cover letters are a bit dated or unnecessary, so I just wanted to show a clip, a little over 2 minutes long, on why we think and agree that cover letters are still important. So I'm just going to pull that up on the screen here.
Hi, if you're a job candidate, then you're going to want to watch this video. You may have heard in some recruitment circles that a cover letter is not that important anymore. However, I believe this is one of the most important aspects for any job candidate. And in this video, I'll share the 3 reasons why. I'm Jeff Wood, and I'm the Director of Jeff Wood Executive Recruitment. With 30+ years of experience in executive recruitment, I help businesses find the very best executives, and I've placed in excess of 2,000 staff across the Gold Coast, Northern New South Wales and Sydney regions. Here's the 3 reasons why a cover letter is critical when submitting your job application. 1. A well-written cover letter is a window of who you are and gives the recruiter a reason to open your resume. 2. It makes the recruiter's job easier. A cover letter is a quick, ready reckoner of why you're applying for the role, and importantly, what relevant experience you have for the position. A seasoned recruiter will look at a cover letter that has bullet points which relate to the job description, and then decide if you at least meet these requirements. 3. A well-written cover letter tells the reader that you've put some thought into the reason why you're applying for the role, and it shows you care about your career. Your cover letter should be something you give plenty of attention to. It should never be a rehash of your resume and should outline a number of key points. One of the most important to outline is exactly why you are right for this position. A selling window to what you bring to the table. As an example, for a role I'm currently working on, the successful candidates that I've shortlisted have included in their cover letter things like, I have been working in the not-for-profit sector for 10 years, and during this time, I've been successful in achieving XYZ for the businesses I've worked for by driving better efficiencies in work practices through streamlining their supplier agreements. If you are a job candidate and want to know more, I've prepared a cover letter template for you, so to drop me a comment below if you'd like a copy.
Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed just another perspective and 3 really good key reasons why it's important to have a cover letter. So the one that you can see up on the screen, it's a template here from Microsoft Word. Although these templates are good starting grounds for people to input their information, I would always suggest that you try and add your own personal touches to the cover letter. And really, again, use it, like we said, as a way to stand out from the crowd and stick out to potential employers. So next, what we're going to talk about is resumes and references. So your resume should always include your personal information at the top, just like your cover letter. Then you're going to highlight your skills, abilities, education, training, paid work history, and any volunteer or work experiences that you may have done. So almost all recruiters are looking for job references, and it's always good that you have 2 to 4 people in your pocket that you can always use as a reference. The types of people you can use as a reference are current or past employers, as well as supervisors. But if you've never worked before, or you don't have any current employment history, you could use other people such as teachers, coaches, counselors, or pastors for suitable references. You always want to make sure that you have that person's permission to use them as a reference. And if you're actively looking for employment, always make sure that your reference is aware so that they can expect and be prepared for a phone call. So just to make things clear, references cannot be your parents, guardians, family members, or friends. So a couple sample resumes are up on the screen here. Just like the cover letter, these are Microsoft Word templates. And if you use these, I would suggest just trying to add your own personal touches. If you are somebody who has strong computer skills and a good understanding of Microsoft Word, first you should try creating your own resume before using a template, just to highlight your skills as well as show your strengths on the computer. After you apply for a job, it's always important or great that you follow up on a job application. Email, phone call, in person, or a thank you letter are all acceptable forms of following up with a potential employer. But what we're going to suggest is that you just pick up the phone to complete that follow-up, if you have the means to do so. For the follow-up, you should wait until the job posting closes if there is a closing date. And if there is no closing date, then what you should do is complete a follow-up anywhere from 24 hours to within 1 week from completing from when you sent in that application. When you reach out to your potential employer, what you want to do is indicate that you're hoping the position is still available, and then you're going to express your continued interest in the job. You should let the employer know why you would like the opportunity to show them that you're the right candidate for the job, and always thank them for their time. So what we're going to show you next is a short clip. Again, it's just a little over 2 minutes long. This one shows some recruiters' viewpoints on why it's encouraged that you complete follow-ups. So I'm just going to pull this here up on the screen, okay?
There's a big job fair just wrapping up in Tampa at Steinbrenner Field. More than 500 positions were up for grabs from different companies.
Yeah, but once your resume's in, you've talked to the recruiter, should you follow up or wait for the employer to reach out to you? This goes for one of those jobs today at the job fair, really any position though. So we're talking to the very people about it who are doing the hiring.
I just love doing customer service to help others out.
Javita Woods already has a job, but today she's angling for a career at this job fair put on by Job News USA.
I'm looking for somewhere I'm able to grow.
She says she feels good about her talks with recruiters today, but her efforts can't stop there.
The follow-up is so critical. These companies are here. They've got their business cards right there on the table.
Basically begging you to reach out, but how to follow up and when and not be a turnoff, it can be tricky.
I encourage follow-up.
Corporate recruiter with Ultimate Medical Academy, Anthony Thuran, says the phone call is the go-to. Make that call within 24 hours after meeting a recruiter and be prepared to jog their memory with the unique interaction or conversation that you had when you first met.
If you wait a week, we meet hundreds of people, we talk to hundreds of people, I may not remember you. And if I don't pick up, you leave me a voicemail and follow up with an email, letting me know that you left me a voicemail. So that efficiency and that responsibility shows not only the want, but the work ethic.
Most employers we talked to today agree the phone call follow-up is best. It's easy for emails to end up in spam or get lost in the shuffle. Anthony and all other employers today tell us don't call multiple times.
You don't want to seem desperate. You want to seem like you are bringing value and that other people need your attention too.
It's no exact science, but consider that the follow-up could make or break you actually getting the job.
They're going to see that you're truly passionate about working for them, whereas there might be another candidate that meets the qualifications and what they're looking for, but not hearing from them may be a sign that they're not interested in that company.
We asked a lot of recruiters, what about the handwritten thank you note? They all said it won't hurt your chances, but it's not going to be the one thing that really gives you the edge. Also that the thank you note, it's best after a scheduled one-on-one interview, versus something like meeting an employer at a job fair.
Right, especially as many people were there. All right, thanks. Good tips, Ashley.
So what did you all think of that? Hopefully everyone enjoyed watching that. And a couple things I just wanted to say before we move on is just remember that follow-ups are really encouraged by employers, especially when they get multiple applications for the job, because by you reaching out to them, it really shows your initiative. Also remember that although you can complete your follow-up in many different ways, that picking up the phone and calling is the best and most effective way for you guys to complete a follow-up on a job application. Okay, so once you have your resume and cover letter ready to go, the next step is to look at the job postings. When you're looking at job postings, it's always best to stick to familiar websites. You can see here up on the screen, there's some suggestions for places that you can look for work. Websites such as eBrandon, Indeed, Job Bank, Prairie Mountain Health, and the Brandon Sun Classifieds are all listed here, and you can find this on our website. Employers have also started using social media as a way to find new workers. So if that's something that you're comfortable doing, you can always look at Facebook's job listings as well. Before we end things here today, we just thought it would be good to let everyone know a few things that they could be doing right now from the comfort of their own home to help them with their future or current job search, or at least to continue thinking about employment. So the first thing we have up here is updating your resume and cover letter. Checking things like your contact information and your references and making sure that's all up to date. Looking through those work experiences and descriptions and making sure it all makes sense. You can also be actively looking and reading job postings. It's really a good way for you guys to get an understanding of what's available in the market, as well as learn about the different duties or expectations that employers list. You can also be practicing your interview skills. If you can have a friend and do this over the phone, a family member at home, or maybe you just do it by yourself in the mirror. You should be able to answer questions such as tell me about yourself and what is a strength and weakness, because these are common interview questions. And so if you're applying for jobs, you want to be sure that you're confident in your answers. Another thing you could do is a social media check. So you can Google yourself to see what comes up and make sure that all of those pages look clean and professional. Up on the screen here, you can see that there's a list with some other tips and suggestions for things you can do. Also, if you need to make your personal life or social media private, make sure that you change your privacy settings. Also, you could check in with a coworker or your employment counselor. I thought this was a good one to add right now because a lot of us with the social distancing might feel disconnected. You can always pick up the phone, FaceTime, or send an email just to do a check-in on others, as well as let them know how you're doing. Lastly, you can practice dropping off a resume. You want to be confident in what you're going to say when you walk into that building to apply for a job. So practice, practice, practice. Okay, so that's the 5 W's of job searching workshop. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this today and were able to take something away from the video. I appreciate everyone for giving me the opportunity to share these workshops with you online. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, and I know that moving forward, the workshops are only going to get better and better. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is going live on the Career Connections Facebook page. It'll be this Wednesday, April the 15th at 2 p.m. And it's going to be a Q&A session where I can answer any questions that you had about today's topic. So if you're unable to tune in with us live, or if you want to submit a question beforehand, just contact me through the Career Connections Facebook page, or you can send an email to the address on the screen here. Also, if there's anyone who's watching this video at a later time, please don't hesitate to contact me at the email address on the screen if there's any questions about anything that you watched here today. So since this week's workshop was the 5 W's of job searching, we thought it was only appropriate to make the next one, Are You Interview Ready? This workshop's going to be hosted by Leanne, and it'll be posted to the YouTube channel here on Monday, April 20th. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button below to stay up to date with all our latest videos. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Up here too, you can see our website, cciwestman.ca, And again, you can go here to find this PowerPoint and any other documents or activities that were shared today. I hope everyone's doing well, staying healthy, enjoyed this workshop, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the live Q&A and for future workshops. Bye for now.